Welcome to our deep dive today, where we'll be looking at AI and how it could change how we experience movies and storytelling.
Yeah, it's a fascinating idea, right?
So the basic idea is that um, instead of streaming services sending like huge video files, they'd only send a kind of blueprint.
Right, a sort of metadata.
Yeah, basically like a super detailed script
It's
or,
DNA of a film.
yeah. And your device would then use AI to generate all the visuals and the sound in real time.
Exactly. Like instead of sending the entire body, they'd send the genetic code and your device would reconstruct it in real time.
So it's less like watching a pre-recorded movie and more like experiencing a story that's happening live right there on your device.
Precisely. And this opens up tons of possibilities for personalization.
Yeah, because then you could adjust like the visuals, the pacing, even the dialogue to like your preferences.
It'd be like having your own personal director, crafting a unique viewing experience.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So this is kind of blurring the lines between like film and video games, right?
Right. Absolutely. And that's where it gets really interesting philosophically, right? Because video games have shown us what you can do with interactivity and choice.
Right, like giving the audience some control.
Yeah, so could this be the next step in the evolution of how we tell stories in film?
I'm already thinking about the possibilities.
Right.
Like imagine watching a historical drama, but you could branch off and explore different characters' perspective or like delve deeper into specific events.
Yeah, it could become way more immersive and educational, almost like an interactive documentary where you control the narrative flow.
The source material even mentions how this could affect like how films are made and distributed.
Right.
Like instead of needing big studios with huge budgets, indie filmmakers could create, personalized films so much easier.
Yeah, it's like the YouTube revolution, but for film.
Exactly.
And this brings up a lot of questions, too, about authorship and artistic control, right?
Like if the audience can personalize so much of the experience, what does that mean for the director's original vision?
Yeah, it's almost like a collaboration, right? Where the director sets the stage and the audience helps shape the narrative.
I like that. So the concept of metadata is really important here, right?
Oh, yeah. It's not just about like making a choose your own adventure film. It's
Yeah.
about providing a framework, like a rich set of elements that can be put together in tons of different ways.
Like a box of Legos where the director gives you the bricks, but you could build whatever you want.
Exactly. And that's where AI comes in, right?
Yeah.
It can take those basic elements and generate a viewing experience that's unique to you, but still stays true to the core story.
It's crazy to think about the possibilities. Like imagine watching Casablanca, but you can experience it from different characters' perspectives or see different endings.
And this goes beyond just personalization, too, right? This tech could also be great for film preservation.
Oh, how so?
Well, instead of relying on fragile film reels, you could have the essence of a film, its metadata, stored digitally, and then perfectly recreate it for future generations.
So it's like having the blueprint for a masterpiece that can be rebuilt and reinterpreted over and over again.
That's a great way to put it. It's about preserving not just the visuals and sound, but the soul of a film, its narrative essence.
I love that.
Yeah. So we've been talking about personalized movies, but this idea goes way beyond just entertainment, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, think about how it could completely change how we learn and experience history.
Now, that's something I'm really interested in. Like the source material mentions interactive documentaries where you're not just watching, but actually like engaging with the content.
Exactly. Imagine watching a documentary about the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
And as you're learning about the Colosseum, you can just seamlessly zoom in to a 3D model of the architecture or like branch off to learn about gladiators.
It would be like stepping into a time machine,
Ah,
right? You could explore any part of history that you're curious about.
exactly. It would be so much more engaging and personalized.
Yeah, totally. So traditional documentaries would be a thing of the past.
Right. Instead, you could have this like multi-layered experience where you control what you explore and how deep you go.
I can see students being so much more into history than they are with textbooks.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It could totally transform how we teach and learn history would just come alive.
The source material even talks about exploring alternate histories.
Oh, yeah, like what if scenarios.
Yeah, what if the Spanish Armada had invaded England? Or the Library of Alexandria hadn't been destroyed?
It would be incredible for understanding cause and effect in history.
And it would challenge our assumptions about the past.
Exactly. History isn't just facts, it's an ongoing conversation about the past. This technology could give us the tools to actually be a part of that conversation.
It's amazing to think we might one day be able to experience history not just as a story, but as a world we can explore.
And it's not limited to just history.
Oh, right.
This tech could apply to any field like exploring the human body or understanding space.
So many possibilities. It feels
Yeah.
like a new era of information and knowledge sharing.
It all goes back to that shift from delivering finished products to providing the building blocks, right?
Yeah, metadata.
Exactly. So instead of a completed puzzle, you get all the pieces and can create something unique.
Perfect analogy. So if we can apply this to movies and documentaries, what other kinds of storytelling could be transformed?
That's a great question. Imagine interactive novels that adapt to your reading style or virtual museums that you can curate yourself.
It's really exciting to think about the future of storytelling,
Yeah, we're just scratching the surface of what's possible with AI and metadata.
for sure. This has been an incredible deep dive so far.
Absolutely.
I've talked about personalized movies and interactive documentaries, but the source material mentions this crazy idea of a global map of moments in time powered by blockchain.
It really is a fascinating idea, right? It pushes the boundaries of how we think about history and memory. Imagine this vast digital map that covers the whole world in every point in time.
Okay.
Each point on the map is a specific moment, a unique combination of time and location coordinates.
So like I could zoom in on Paris on Bastille Day and see a pin on the map.
Exactly.
What would clicking that pin do?
That's the interesting part. The pin wouldn't actually contain any content itself.
Okay.
No videos, photos, or audio. It's more like a marker, a verification that something happened at that specific time and place.
Well, it's like a table of contents, not a library. It tells you it exists, but not the content itself.
Exactly. Think of it like a global index of moments, a catalog of human experience waiting to be unlocked.
So how do you unlock those experiences? How do you actually get from the pin to experiencing the moment?
That's where the system gets really cool. Let's say you're interested in a specific moment like the fall of the Berlin Wall or a concert you went to or even just like a random street scene from your childhood.
Okay.
You would send a request to whoever owns the content associated with that moment.
Someone who was actually there who recorded it.
Exactly. And they would have complete control over whether to give you access or not.
So it's all about choice and consent.
Right. You decide what moments you want to share and who you share them with.
It sounds like a really personal and decentralized way to experience history, like a tapestry woven together from all these different perspectives.
That's a beautiful way to put it. It moves away from a single narrative and embraces the complexity of having multiple viewpoints.
The source material also talks about how this system could fight misinformation and make historical records more authentic.
Yeah, because everything is linked to a specific time and location on the blockchain. It's like an unchangeable record.
Uh-huh.
So if someone tries to mess with the content or make something up, it wouldn't match the verified data and you'd know right away.
It's like a lie detector for history.
Haha, kinda. It would make it a lot harder to twist the past or spread false narratives. The truth would be right there in an unalterable record.
That's incredible. So we're talking about a whole new way of documenting and interacting with the past.
Exactly. Instead of relying on institutions to curate our history, we could have a system where everyone contributes to a collective memory.
Wow, what a fascinating idea. It really makes you question the idea that history is fixed and unchangeable.
For sure, it opens up the possibility of a history that's alive and constantly changing as new perspectives are added to the map.
This global map of moments feels like a natural extension of everything we've been talking about.
It is. It's all connected, moving away from a top-down approach to information and towards something more decentralized and participatory.
It makes you wonder what the future holds for storytelling and knowledge sharing. What kind of world could we create if we could capture, share, and experience moments in time like this?
That's the question we should all be asking ourselves. As we explore AI and blockchain, we need to think about the ethics and philosophy too.
We need to make sure these technologies are used to empower people, create understanding, and build a more inclusive world.
Absolutely. It's about using technology to connect people and help us understand ourselves and the world around us better.
Well, this has been an incredible deep dive. So many thought-provoking ideas and possibilities.
It's been great exploring all this with you.
And thanks to all of you for listening and joining us on this journey.